Okay. So I just logged into the game this morning, and I went over to the notifications, and we have this bombshell that they just decided to drop on us out of nowhere. So apparently, the Vault of Heaven is going to be added to Aether Raids, and what this is basically higher tiers for us to compete in. So it says after the version 5.1 update, tiers 29 through 38 are going to be added. So let's actually go ahead and see what they have to say about this. So what is the Vault of Heaven? The Vault of Heaven is a battlefield where the strongest of the strong in Aether Raids compete in a fierce competition. If a player ends the season having reached tiers 27 through 28, they will begin the following season from tier 31, the doorstep to the Vault of Heaven. And if a player battles in the Vault of Heaven and closes the season at its highest peak, tier 38, they will begin the following season from tier 31 and can continue to battle in the Vault of Heaven. However, if they close the season at tier 37 or below, the player will begin the following season from tier 23. Alright, so what does all of this mean? Basically, if you manage to get to tier 27 or tier 28, you're going to automatically be jumped into the Vault of Heaven, which is going to start at tier 31. So they're adding another level of separation to tier 21, which I think is actually a good thing. I think I said this in the podcast video, but I thought that tier 28 was going to be another separation tier, because tier 21 is just so overcrowded at this point. I do think some more separation is needed now, and that's definitely good. They're giving us exactly that. And they were very lenient with this. You only need to manage to make it to tier 27. They could have easily said, okay, you got to be only tier 28 to rank into the Vault of Heaven. But they gave us a bone there, and they made it tier 27 as well. So quickly, if we go over to Aether Raids, and we take a look, there's still a day left in the season, and I have 180 Aether right now. So let's say I did a boosted fight and I broke both of the pots. I'd be able to do another boosted fight right after that. And my boosted fights, I gain 408 lift from that. So I'm basically a shoo-in for tier 27. And it's very likely that I'll also be able to make tier 28. So after they made that update, where they gave us a bonus 20 lift for our offenses, they made it very easy to get to tier 27. I don't think it's going to be too hard. You don't have to be a whale or anything to get to tier 27. You just have to take the mode a little bit seriously and play somewhat competitively, and you should be okay. But there are a lot of players in tier 21 that just don't care, and sometimes they'll even use the auto dispatch or whatever, which is perfectly fine. I mean, if you don't care about the mode, then I'm not going to say anything against that. We're all free to play the game how we want and have fun however we want. But all I'm saying is that tier 27 is a pretty lenient enough range for us to jump into the Vault of Heaven. So that's good. And also, in order to maintain the Vault of Heaven, so let's say you end up getting there, you're going to need to be tier 38 at the end of the season to actually stay. Now, this is where things get a little bit wonky. So, I'm imagining tier 38 is just going to be Whale City, basically. You're not going to be able to stay there without tons and tons of merges on your mythic heroes. And you guys know me. My light season team is pretty stacked. I got a lot of merges on my light heroes. So, it's not a problem for me at all to stay in tier 28 or tier 38, presumably, for light season. But when it comes to Astra season, I'm out of luck. I do not have a lot of merges at all on my Astra heroes. Just recently, I summoned on the Lulina banner, and I only got 2 copies of Regan. So, I have a +3 Regan, and then a +1 Altina, and that's it. All my other Astra mythics have no merges at all, and that's not going to cut it. If I want to manage to maintain tier 38, I'm probably going to have to jump back in on that Lulina banner and try to get some more merges while I still have the chance. So, it's definitely going to be whaley to stay in the Vault of Heaven, I think. but they're also giving you a little bit of an edge as well. So I know in arena mode, some people can't maintain the crowns every season, so they end up hopping back and forth between tier 21 and tier 20. They call those people tier 20.5 basically. And I think that's going to apply here as well, because if you don't manage to make it to tier 38, you're going to start the next season in tier 23 as opposed to tier 21. So they are still giving you a little bit of an edge over everyone else in tier 21. So it's not going to be hard for you to rank back up into the Vault of Heaven and maybe keep going back and forth if you're not a whale and you don't have some crazy high merges on your mythics. But a lot of people that are very competitive with the mode and they don't like to lose are probably going to be upset with these changes overall, seeing as how even if they play a perfect offense and a perfect defense, unless they have merges on the mythics, it's not really going to matter. So that's where I think these changes actually fail, but they have succeeded in letting us jump back and forth between the Vaults of Heaven and also making it very easy to get there, I think. Tier 27 is fine. And also, the basic rules are going to be the same as typical Aether Raids. However, in the Vault of Heaven, for each successful raid in which all of your units survive, you will be granted a bonus of plus 10 to your lift. And after ascending to the Vault of Heaven, you can obtain even more heroic grails and dragon flowers as rewards. So this is both good and bad, I think. A lot of people, including myself, were upset about the changes they made recently to Aether Raids, where you're allowed to lose one unit on offense if you have the bonus mythic for that season on your team. I think that's a little unfair, because every other mode and basically every other Fire Emblem game, period, if you lose a unit, you are penalized for that. So I didn't like that change that they made. But here they're pretty much going back on their word, and they're like, okay, we know we messed up, so instead of allowing you to lose a unit, if you manage to keep all of your units, you get a bonus to lift, which is going to be nice. It's only going to matter in the Vault of Heaven, though, so I guess if you're still in tier 21, then it's still going to be easy mode and baby AR at that point. And also, they're boosting the rewards to heroic grails and dragon flowers, which is also going to be very nice. The only bad thing here, though, is that, like I said, it's going to be Whale City. So you're going to need to have tons of merges on the mythics if you want to keep on maintaining the Vault of Heaven every round. And not a lot of people are going to be able to do that unless they have all the merges. So having more rewards for tier 38 players, it feels like the rich are just going to get richer and the poor are just going to get poorer, if that makes any sense. And I don't think that's a good way to do it. Everyone wants more heroic grails, not just the whales. And in fact, it probably benefits the free-to-play players a little bit more, because they just want to build their favorites. And assuming that one of their favorite characters is in the heroic grail shop, it's going to be very hard for them to go for the plus 10. It takes months and months of just hoarding these stupid grails until we can get a single plus 10. So if you want to make a lot of players happy, just give out more heroic grails to everybody instead of just the people that are competing in the Vault of Heaven. I think that would be a little bit more fair. And regardless, just having a new tier like the Vault of Heaven is already going to make a lot of people compete even harder, because some people are just competitive and they like to be ranked in the top tiers no matter what. But we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully the heroic grail payout is just going to go up for everybody regardless. But my overall thoughts on this is that on paper it seems very good. I don't really have an issue with this. Pretty much most of these concerns were things that a lot of people were unhappy about already, like tier 21 being oversaturated, and then there's not a new cutoff tier for tier 21, as well as losing a unit for free, basically. So it seems that they are trying to address some of the problems with the previous update, and you can't really slight them for that, but that's just my opinion. Definitely let me know in the comments section down below what you guys have to say about all of this, and are you happy with it, or are you unhappy with it? Definitely feel free to voice your opinions, because I have this inkling suspicion that IntSys may be watching us on this channel, so your opinion has a chance of being heard by them. So that's all for today. I just wanted to quickly go over my thoughts on this update. And this is your boy Tacho signing out. So take care, fellas. And I will catch y'all again on the flip side.